Hey guys, Sharksicle Gaming here, coming with a interesting video here. I just bought my second secret lair, and I realized to myself, man, some of these are really cool. And I know everybody talks about them, and some people love them and some people hate them, but I wanted to give my 2 cents on what some of my favorite ones are in a video here. I do have some caveats. First and foremost, there's been 137 secret lair drops to date here, October 2022. So, I'm going to have a few on this list. It might be a little bit longer of a video, but I do want to let people know that this is in no particular order. It's just my opinions, the ones that I like, some things that I like about them. Usually it's influenced by art, but sometimes it's influenced by other aspects of the secret lair itself. I do want to point out I'm not typically into the whole universes beyond style sort of. I think it can take, some of the, how do you say, immersion out of the game, right? If I'm sitting there playing Post Malone, love the guy, right? Or I'm playing 11 or Rick against, people that are in the Magic universe. I do want to point out that I know that they've done a good job of taking a lot of these characters and reestablishing them as Magic cards. Post is the other way around, right? He's a redesign of Krix and Yawgmoth, but they've done a good job of coming back and doing some of that on these other ones, and so for that, that's cool, and I'm glad that they've done that. That's not typically my style, so just be aware of that as we go forth here. Cool, so moving then in to the list here, this first one's going to be land sets. There's been a good number of land sets that have come about, and they're fine, and I like some of them. Some of these are my favorite here, the Bob Ross ones. The thought process of paying $30 for lands is a little irksome sometimes, but these Bob Ross ones are nice, and these they called the Brutal Basics, and that's cool, and Snow-Covered Island.jpg with the old sort of Windows 97 style. And then Shades Not Found, these sort of untextured lands. Those are the cool ones that I think just kind of pop out to me. Still probably wouldn't pay $30 for 5 basics, but man, some of these had me tempted, right? And then this one's just the funniest thing in the world to me, and it's the sort of they call it voracious reader, but they in the rules text, every single thing, no reminder text at all, even pointing out how to tap a card down, right? So that's the that's the funniest one that they've done on there. If I had to pick a favorite secret lair, it would probably be this one. It's the Extra Life. This is a combination of the first 2 Extra Lives that they've done here. This latest one just got announced today, in October here, 2022. But It's Extra Life is a charity, a fundraising program of Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and I'll have a link in the description with more information to them on their website, let you read all about them. But they basically take these cards drawn by these children, get the kids to write the flavor text, get the kids to draw the cards, and then what they actually do over at Magic, at Wizards, is turn them into a more realized version of that card. So it's just a really cool project that they do. Obviously, a lot of that donations go to charity, and that's just such a cool thing for them to be able to do. And some of these cards look sick, man. Muldrifter and Crater Hoof and Sliver Legion and Birds, like cards that are actually played, right? Next is a set called Here There Be Dragons. I think that this set is really cool. I really like how it's packaged, especially. That's something normally all secret lairs come in the same style packaging. And this one's got some playable cards, like Old Gnawbone, saw some play, and then of course Tiamat, she's amazing if you are building a dragon tribal in 5 colors. So just a really cool set of things for them to drop like that. I think these go for something like $300 now, $250 now. So man, if you picked one up for 60 foil at the time or whatever, and they're in the rule book styling is what they call this art style for these. This is 2 sets here, but I like both of them. They're called Party Hard, Shred Harder. That's these 2 here that look like the sort of death metal poster styling. And then the other one is called Psychedelic Show, and that is this sort of 60s psych rock styling, Grateful Dead, Monkeys, sort of. I've got a Trogs record from the 60s that looks, just like this in the writing and everything there. 70s probably is actually, late 60s, early 70s. Just a really cool art styling on those. This next one's the one that I just bought, and it is the Junji Ito art series. If you're unfamiliar with Junji Ito, he's a Japanese horror manga author, famous for a novel, graphic novel called Uzumaki. He's very like sort of cosmic horror styling. And he also did a really cool manga adaptation of Frankenstein that he won several awards for. And I just think this is so sick. I've got a Turgid deck. I've got a link in my playlist of deck techs that I do, where I've done the deck tech for the arena version of that deck, but I also have it in physical paper, so I bought these for that as well, for discarding and sacrificing things here. This next one is the first one that I bought, and a few others here. I purchased the Pride Across the Multiverse one, but this also has the Black is Magic, as well as the Women's History, International Women's Day. So that's these first two up here with Captain Sisay and Narset, two absolutely fabulous women in Magic, both in story and in gameplay. I've played against some really cool decks of both of those. The Black is Magic set here has gorgeous art for cards that see lots of play. Obviously, Ponder, Cultivate, and that's gorgeous with it being a Black Lotus, and that's not lost on me either, as well as specifically the flavor text. I mean, just absolutely incredible here, as well as Soul Ring, right? I think it's so funny that a lot of these arts series do Soul Rings, just trying to make sure those cards see play. They don't want you, even if Soul Ring's $1 somewhere, they don't want you going and spending $30, $40, $50 on a secret Lair drop set and having nothing that you can play out of it. And then the Pride Across the Multiverse, that one went to the Trevor Project, I believe, was the set there. And so a lot of those cards had sort of LGBTQIA plus stylings to them. And that's really cool, and that's my favorite thing about Secret Lairs. You don't like it, don't buy it, right? But this one, between the charity that it goes to and some of the art choices that they made, I just absolutely loved it. I do think it was funny here on Bearscape that they did get called out a little bit. It's a 13 and up game, so you got to be a little careful with some of your suggestions there as far as what's explicitly shown. They just don't have a whole lot of shirtless characters in Magic anymore to begin with, right? But I still think it's fun. I think all of it's fun. Mana Confluence, obviously, with the rainbow and just all the different flags inside of the Soul Ring here. Gorgeous decisions and gorgeous art and lovely charity that it's donated to. Trevor Project, of course, I'll also leave a link in the description. They donate to help secure LGBT youths, whether it's mental health or housing or anything like that. It's a very important work that they do over there at the Trevor Project. Next is some of the funny sets to me. This one is a couple of these here. This first one on the left here is the April Fool's set. On the box, it specifically said, and I quote, "Wizards of the Coast presents, after great deliberation, we have compiled and remastered the greatest Magic the Gathering cards of all time ever." And it was, I think, 5 cards, and they were like the worst cards Magic is. Stormcrow, right? Squire, Tybalt, and I don't remember if this is silver or white bordered Tybalt, but I just love the funny. Pardon me. The funny nod to sneeze there to Tybalt being just that poor of a card. Then below that we've got this left-handed edition of Magic. These grind my gears. They named it finally a left-handed set, but these grind my gears so much. Every fiber of my being hates looking at these. I know that they tried out that sort of future shifted border, and obviously that didn't stick around for good reason. And then this next one here is Fibblethip is Lost. I think it was something even more wordy than that, but it's basically a Where's Waldo, or what do they call it in the UK? Where's Wally styling of Fibblethip, which is the little character that is blue, one-eyed homunculus dude that just appears in places, but on cards like Path to Exile or Frantic Search, so cards that see play, but just a really funny kind of nod to an art that is not common, and also all done by the same artist, which is really, really cool when they can shout that out as well. Next is one that has stirred some controversy. This is the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. This was an entire deck, from my understanding. A lot of new cards, mostly reprint. I say a lot, I think it was like 5 new cards. Mostly reprints. And then all of these were double-sided. I only put the one here on the slideshow, but any of these cards you could choose to just play the other side of instead. The same card, just different art, right? So it was like $100, and I think it was all foil. And so you pay $100, you get 100 cards, all foil. A lot of the cards are double-sided where you can choose. And it's an out-of-the-box playable EDH commander deck with synergy and red-blue and coin flip manipulation. I mean, just an insane undertaking. The controversy came from the fact that I think it's been 9 months and those decks still haven't shipped out. So people have paid their money, they paid their $100, and they want their cards. So I don't blame them there, but cool concept. I almost purchased it myself. I think that's such a fun mechanic and such a fun way to play. And I don't remember who designed it, but it was designed by somebody who is pretty good at Magic too, so the deck was surprisingly powerful for $100 as well. And some of these cards that were in it were never printed in foil at all, but they had printings, if there was a promo version of it or whatever, that nicest played version of it or whatever, that was, $25-$30. So, I mean, you could have cards that it probably turned around and turned you a profit if you ever wanted to get rid of it. This next one is something that was new to me, but is the Mischief and I'm only 25, but some of this stuff I'm just completely out of the loop on. But this is a clothing company. They sort of have this sort of don't care aesthetic. Their website is very basic. It's like a .xyz. I visited it for a moment there. And they just kind of, it's kind of like Supreme in that. So that's kind of their design. They designed these art series here. There's a Swords to Plowshares and a Blood Moon. And then this is the Battlefield Forge that is a golf course. And the text at the top, golf sucks now and has always sucked. Just this very, tongue-in-cheek, devil-may-care attitude from this clothing company. Really, really fun art styles. It worked on me. I don't know if that makes me one of the sheep, but man, that's cool. And I wanted to see what their clothes looked like after looking at these cards. So whatever they paid to get it on these, it worked, right? Next is two that I love, and I'm sure my wife loves as well, actually, when I showed her one of these when it came out. But this is actually two sets. This is one called the Monster Movie Marathon and one called Thrilling Tales of the Undead. I believe the Undead ones are these two on the outsides here, the Liliana cards, and then the other one is the other set there. This is sort of a combination of the 1930s horror movie aesthetic from the posters and advertisements therein, and then also these other ones are the sort of Penny Dreadful styling. This one's really clever here, if you can see my mouse on Dismember here, where they've printed the 1 and the 2 Phyrexian mana symbols here, and that's kind of like where the sort of pricing would appear on the top corner of the Penny Dreadful. So just a really clever ideals there. And then, of course, painted by the same people here, and then this other one painted by a different person as well. So, again, the series all highlighting one. Very talented artist, very talented aesthetics there. Next, we have one called Kamigawa Inc. This was one that kind of piqued my interest very early on. Cards that I see play, people's commanders. I believe that all of them were legendary creatures and done in this sort of like... very Japanese traditionalist style. Very good job with these. All painted by Jung Shan. Fantastic styling here. Very, very good throughout. Great use of colors, with the purples in the black card, and the red cards and the blues and the blue cards. Just really good job sticking with the script there and the aesthetic there. This next one's one just because it's good all the way across. It's a Box of Rocks is one that's going to pop up here, but these two are the Talisman and the Signet sets. They've done Dan Frazier doing all of them, Signets and Talismans, and these were printed on these retro borders, retro frames with this really cool etched foil aesthetic. I mean, they just did a great job getting these cards back and printed and everything. I know that's a big deal, right? People are paying for the rocks, and then this is so beautifully contrasted with this, which is the Box of Rocks set, which is just so sort of zany and out there. But again, mana rocks that people need. There was more than this, but these were the two that I liked the art on the most. I wanted to really showcase those here. But cards that people need and pay money for. I mean, Chromatic Lantern's still $20 as of this recording. So for $30 to get that plus 5 other cool rocks and a cool art style, I mean, you really, I mean, good deal in the secondary market. Um, this next one is the last one for me on this video, and it is called Mountain Go. This is a playset of lightning bolts, all done in different art styles, all done by different artists. Some of which, I mean, Noah Bradley, right? The people that have been with Magic for a long time. The reason I like this so much is because this is what Secret Lair should be for. It shouldn't be cards that are hard to get. It shouldn't be necessarily, using it for a reprint, whatever, right? It shouldn't be new cards, or if you didn't buy the Secret Lair, you don't even get those cards at all. They don't exist anywhere else, in my opinion. It shouldn't be that. It should be, I'm a collector. I like flashy stuff. I would like to purchase this. Lightning bolts, what, $1.80, been reprinted a million times, and you can just buy this and have your flashy versions. This reminds me of when I was first getting really into Magic, like, I mean, going to F&M every week as a teenager and stuff, and I saw Legacy gameplay for the first time, or Vintage, whatever it was, and these guys would have alternate arts of their cards made to where you just barely tournament legal, the stuff that they do to these. But, you get Lightning Bolt and you'd black out everything but the text boxes, and everything in the art was blacked out except for that bolt just carving through the night sky. Just a very sort of like flashy, people going crazy for those style arts and everything there, and just getting all of that stuff put together in a deck, saying this is my signature style. And that's what I think Secret Lair should be for, is things that you specifically like, that fit that aesthetic. Well, guys, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any Secret Lairs that you guys really liked, or want to start a discussion on whether you do like Secret Lairs at all, don't like them at all, any of that stuff, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. Please like and share this video, and check out some of my other stuff. I've got lots of EDH gameplay on there. I've got a couple of deck techs. Really trying to grow this channel, but exploring a few directions to see what people like, because I don't mind catering to an audience, of course, while I make the content that I do enjoy. Thank you guys so much again, and we'll catch you on the next video.